The banquet hall of the Langford estate gleamed under a crystal chandelier, its every surface polished, every table set with military precision. Guests laughed and sipped expensive champagne as the soft notes of a grand piano drifted through the air. Waiters and staff moved with quiet efficiency, blending into the background. Among them was Maya, a quiet maid with steady hands and watchful eyes. Dressed in her uniform and hair tied back in a bun, she had been working at the Langford estate for nearly 2 years. Most didn't notice her, and that suited her fine. She did her work, kept her head down, never invited attention. But tonight would be different. At the center of the room stood William Langford, the youngest billionaire in the country, heir to the Langford tech empire. Tall, charming, and devastatingly clever, at least that's how he liked to see himself, surrounded by investors, celebrities, and politicians. He entertained with confidence and a glass of aged scotch. At one point during the evening, a foreign ambassador arrived. Man from Japan who didn't speak much English. The moment he entered, everyone turned slightly uncomfortable, unsure of how to interact. Langford, ever the showman, clapped his hands loudly and joked, "Anyone here speak fluent Japanese? I'll give you my salary for the day if you can translate." What he's saying, laughter erupted from the crowd. Everyone assumed it was a joke, one of Langford's many arrogant remarks. He grinned, clearly enjoying the attention. Then, to everyone's surprise, Maya stepped forward. "I can translate, sir," she said quietly. The room fell silent. Langford raised an eyebrow, not even hiding the smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. "You?" he said. "You're the cleaning girl. You know Japanese?" "Yes," she said calmly. "I studied it in university before I took this job." Langford chuckled. "Translate this then," he said, turning to the ambassador and speaking loudly and slowly in broken English. "Tell him, we are honored by his presence and hope he invests in our upcoming AI satellite program." Maya nodded and turned to the ambassador, her tone shifting with graceful precision into flawless, polite Japanese. The ambassador's eyes lit up, a wide smile spreading across his face as he responded enthusiastically. Then Maya translated his reply just as effortlessly. "He says he's grateful for the welcome, and he's already heard impressive things about Langford's work. He would be happy to discuss details in private." The guests blinked, stunned.
Ow.
Langford's smile faded slightly. He hadn't expected that. "All right then," he said, trying to recover. "Beginner's luck. Let's see how deep your vocabulary really goes." He pulled out his phone and read a complex sentence off an email. It was a business proposal dense with corporate terminology and layered meaning, barely understood. Half of it himself. Maya didn't hesitate. She translated it with perfect accuracy, then returned with the ambassador's thoughtful, detailed answer. Now people were whispering. Langford narrowed his eyes. "Okay, last one," he said sharply. He stepped forward and said in Japanese imperfectly, with a mocking tone, "Tell him that you're just a maid, and I pay you to clean, not to talk." A few gasps escaped from nearby guests. Maya stood still for a moment. Her expression didn't change. But then, in calm and composed Japanese, she turned to the ambassador and spoke. The ambassador looked shocked, then furious. He turned toward Langford and spoke sternly, his voice echoing over the stunned crowd. Maya translated. Her voice quiet but clear. "He says your words are disgraceful, that it's not her job title that defines her intelligence, and he will not be doing business with someone who mocks his own staff." A hush swept the room. Langford's face turned red. "You misinterpreted him," he snapped. "No," said the ambassador in broken English. She said, "Truth, you're rude, sheer respectful, honest." Maya stood quietly. "You offered me your salary if I translated correctly," she reminded Langford. "Do you intend to honor that?" The crowd didn't laugh this time. They waited. Langford tried to dismiss it. This was a joke. "Words have weight," Maya said softly, "especially when spoken by powerful people." One of the investors, clearly impressed, approached Maya. "Where did you study Japanese?" "Tokyo University," she replied. "I was on a scholarship. My family fell on hard times, and I had to leave before completing my master's. I took this job to support them." Another guest stepped forward. "That was remarkable. Have you considered working in diplomacy or international consulting? Maya smiled faintly. Not until now. Langford, cornered and humiliated, took a step back. This is my home, my staff. You should treat them with dignity, the ambassador snapped, or you'll lose more than just business. Later that night, while the party continued, in awkward fragments, Maya was quietly approached by 3 different high-profile guests who handed her business cards. One from an embassy, one from a global firm, and one from a university offering to help her finish her degree. She walked home that night, not as the maid everyone had ignored, but as the woman who had reminded them that intelligence, respect, and value are never defined by a uniform. And Langford, his silence was louder than any apology he never gave.